Hi guys, I hope that you're all doing well. Today's lesson is about double angles in grade 12 trigonometry. I told you guys that in grade 12 you only have compound and double angles, and from there it's basically grade 11 revision. So let's try the first example. We have cos 12x. Okay, so we have cos 2a is equal to cos squared alpha minus sine squared alpha, or 1 minus 2 sine squared alpha, or 2 cos squared alpha minus 1. For sine, the sine double angle is sine 2 alpha is equal to 2 sine alpha times cos alpha. So this information is provided in your information sheet, your formula sheet. You don't need to know these formulas by head. You just need to be able to spot them when you're given your exam. Okay, so let's start with the first example, which is cos squared x. I wrote the steps for you guys on the left hand side. On the right hand side, step 1 is identify if it's the sine or cos double angle. We have cos 12x. This is the cos double angle, as it's similar to cos squared alpha. This one, the second one, is sine squared alpha, so it's not the right one as it starts with sine. So for the cos double angle, we have cos squared alpha. We've identified that it's the cos double angle. What's step 2? Write as cos or sine 2 times your angle. So let's rewrite this here, cos 12x. To do so, we'll say 12 divided by 2, which is 6. But we have an x here, so it should be 6x. We've completed step 2. Step 3 says highlight your alpha. So we write cos 12x as cos 2 times 6x. This 6x. The 2 comes from this 2 in your information sheet, okay? So it should be similar. Cos 2a is the same as cos 2 times 6x. Highlight your alpha. There's your alpha. Your alpha is 6x. As here, you have cos 2 alpha. So this is cos 2 times 6x. 6x is your alpha, okay? Step 4 says substitute. We have 3 options here. We have cos squared alpha minus 2 sine alpha, and you also have 2 other options. So depending on the question that you're given, on how you have to solve, you'll have to substitute any of these 3. But just to show you how it's done in all 3 of these options, I'll do so for all of them. Let's try the first one, which is cos squared alpha minus sine squared alpha. Let's see if you have to substitute this to solve. Okay, so to do so, we'll start with cos squared, then substitute your alpha. What is your alpha? It's 6x. So this is 6x minus sine squared alpha. What is your alpha? 6x. That is how you substitute the first option. Now let's try the second one from here, which is 1 minus 2 sine squared, 1 minus 2 sine squared alpha. You write this 1 minus 2 sine squared. 1 minus 2 sine squared. We have alpha. What is your alpha? 6x. So this is 6x. Whenever you see alpha in the formula that you are given in your information sheet, substitute it as the one that you've solved, the 6x. Let's try option C. Option C is 2 cos squared alpha minus 1. To do so, you write this 2 cos squared. What is your alpha? Your alpha is 6x. 6x minus 1. You now know how to solve that one. Let's move to the second example. Let's try cos 40 theta. What is the first step? Identify if it's the sine or cos double angle. We have cos for 40 theta, which is the cos double angle, as it starts with cos. We've completed that step. What's the second one? Write as cos or sine 2 times your angle. To do so, you'll say, let's write this here as cos 40 theta. Let's say 40 divided by 2, which is 20. But you have theta here, so it should be 20 theta. Don't forget that angle. So you write this as cos 2 times 20 theta. Because it looks like that one, cos 2 alpha. Step 3, highlight your alpha. There's your alpha. Step 4, let's substitute. We have 3 different options for the cos double angle. So if we had to substitute the first one, which is cos squared alpha minus sine squared alpha, we'll say cos squared, substitute your alpha is 20 theta. 20 theta minus sine squared, this sine squared. What is your alpha? Excuse me, it's sine squared. What is your alpha? 20 theta. Okay, now let's try, this is option A. Let's try option B, which is 1 minus 2 sine squared alpha. To do so, we'll say 1 minus sine squared, 2 sine squared. What is your alpha? 20 theta. Now let's try option C. That one, we have 2 cos squared alpha minus 1. You write this 2 cos squared. What is your alpha? 20 theta. 20 theta minus 1. That is how you solve the cos double angle. Now let's try cos 20y. You can just pause the video, try this one out, but make sure that you rewrite all these formulas, as it'll be easy for you when it's time to solve. Okay, cos 20y. What's the first step? Identify if it's the cos or sine double angle. It starts with cos, so it's the cos double angle. Okay, step 2, write as cos or sine 2 times your angle. To do so, we'll say cos 2y, let's say 20 divided by 2, which is 10. But we have a y here, so write that angle here. Write that variable there. So we write this as cos 2 times 10y. Okay, cos 2 times 10y is the same thing as cos 2 alpha. You guys can see that, right? Let's move to step 3, highlight your alpha. You have cos 2 times 10y, which means 10y is your alpha. Step 4, let's substitute. For cos, we have 3 different options. Let's start with the first one. I'll write it as A, cos squared alpha minus sine squared alpha. Where we see alpha, we substitute our 10y. So we write this as cos squared. What is your alpha? 10y. Minus sine squared. What is your alpha? 10y. So let's try the second option here. Let's write it as B, which is 1 minus 2 sine squared alpha. How do we solve this? We write 1 minus 2 sine squared. 1 minus 2 sine squared. What is your alpha? 10y. Now let's say we had to substitute the third option. Let's write this as C, which is 2 cos squared alpha minus 1. You can also rewrite this in your question paper before you substitute. So you rewrite 2 cos squared. What is your alpha? 10y. 10y minus 1. And that is how you solve for the cos double angle in trigonometry. Now let's do the next example. Let's try sine 4x. What is the first step? Identify if it's the cos or sine double angle. We have sine 4x. It starts with sine, so it's the sine double angle. Okay. What's step 2? Write as cos or sine 2 times your angle. So you write this as 4 divided by 2, which is 2. But you have x here, so it should be 2x. So you write this as sine 2 times 2x. Can you guys see that this sine 2 times 2x is the same thing as that sine 2 alpha? Okay. What's the third step? Highlight your alpha. You have sine 2. Here we have sine 2 alpha. So your alpha is 2x. Step 3, substitute. The formula for your double angle that's on your information sheet is 2 sine alpha times cos alpha. So you write this 2 sine, what is your alpha? 2x, times cos, what is your alpha? 2x. And that is how you substitute the sine double angle. This one is easy. We don't have a lot of options. It's just one option. Let's try the fifth example. Let's say sine 12 theta. Okay. What's the first step? Step 1, identify if it's the sine, the cos or sine double angle. It says sine 12 theta. It starts with sine, so it's the sine double angle. Step 2, write as cos or sine 2 times your angle. To do so, we'll say sine 12 theta, then 12 divided by 2, which is 6. But we have theta here, so it's 6 theta. Okay, so write this as sine 2 times that angle, 6 theta. Can you see that it's the same thing as sine 2 alpha? Step 3, highlight your alpha. Sine 2, that is your alpha. Step 4, substitute. The information sheet told us that for the sine double angle, we have 2 sine alpha times cos alpha. So write this 2 sine, what is your alpha? 6 theta, times cos, what is your alpha? 6 theta. And that is how you solve that one. Let's try the last example. Let's do sine 16 beta. What's the first step? Identify if it's the cos or sine double angle. You have sine 16 beta, which is the same as sine 2 alpha. So it's the sine double angle. Step 2, write as cos or sine 2 times your angle. We'll say sine 16 beta. What's 16 divided by 2? 16 divided by 2 is 8. We have a beta here, so it should be 8 beta. So we write this as sine 2 times 8 beta. Okay, highlight alpha. You have sine 2, your 8 beta is the alpha. Step 4, substitute. The information sheet told us that for the sine double angle, it's sine 2 sine alpha times cos alpha. So write this 2 sine, what is your alpha? 8b, 8b, times cos, what is your alpha? 8b. And that is how you deal with cos and sine double angles in grade 12. In the next video, I'll show you guys how to go from here to there, and how to go from 2 sine alpha times cos alpha to sine 2 alpha. In this video, we learned how to go from cos 2 alpha, right? And we also learned how to go from sine squared alpha to 2 sine alpha times cos alpha. So we'll do the opposite in the next video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.